Hi, this is Toni Redpath and welcome to Dance Visions DVDs. So today we're going to be doing solo styling and characterization to take your dancing to a whole new level. So let's get ready to have some fun. So this DVD is designed so that you can work on your own dancing to develop the styling and characterization of each of the dances. So what I'll be doing is a quick review of the techniques that we've done in the other two DVDs, which is just making sure you have your posture correct, that we cover swing, rotation, and sway, and then just go over the basics of the arm styling so that we can really push it and have more fun. So if you feel like you need more time on that, go back to the first DVD. We'll also cover a little bit on turns, but if you feel like you're losing balance when we start doing a lot of rotation, again, go back to your second DVD so that you can work on your balance through rotation. So we're going to go over the basics, but then we're going to push it and really have some fun with it. But I have a quick side note for you. Gentlemen, as you'll notice, I am a lady instructor. So when I'm demonstrating these styling techniques, you'll notice that there's a feminine flair to it. Okay, great for the ladies, but for you guys, I want to make sure that you really tap into your masculine side. Listen to the information I'm giving you, but then trust your instincts to make sure that it has a masculine edge to it. So for example, when I do an arm styling to put my high jump bar up, which we'll be reviewing that later on, you'll notice that as the lady, I'll have rotation through the fingers, I'll high jump up and over the high jump bar with an extension of my head, so there'll be a real feminine edge to it. For the gentleman, I wouldn't want it to look like that. So you're going to stand up stronger and taller. You're going to have a stronger line through your body. Your hands won't have that feminine finger flare to it. You're going to have a more presenting action as if you're presenting the lady. So if I have a feminine edge to it, you'll release the head less and you'll stand up stronger to present the lady. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so I trust you. You're going to make it nice and manly for me. All right, so we're going to do a quick review and then move on and try and have some fun with this. Okay, so the beautiful thing about smooth dancing is we get to transition from closed position, from closed hold, into open hold. So we get to do a lot of actions through our body to develop the character of each of the dances. But technique is the core of everything, so we need to make sure we review that first to make sure that anything that we add on top is based in a solid foundation of good technique. So the first technique that we're going to go over is your posture. That's prime, that's number one, numero uno, so we're going to go over that first. With our posture, we need to make sure that we're standing up nice and straight. So standing up straight means that we don't want to slouch over in any direction. We don't want to let gravity win and hunch us over. So we want to stand up nice and straight with our body lined up. So when we're lined up, we want to make sure that our center of levitation, which is right where our sternum is picked up nice and tall. And you'll notice that as I do that, my center of gravity, which is where my navel is tucked in right underneath. Okay, so I'm lined up nice and straight. From there, our techniques, swing, rotation, and sway, can change our hip angles. So it can change the angles of the hips forward and back and sideways. But hopefully you can see that my spine stays perpendicular to my hip line at all times. Okay, so this is for good posture. Now in smooth, we get to play with that just a little bit. So out of 100%, say 2 or 3% of the time, we can play with good posture. We can have contractions and extensions to add to our styling. Now, if you're in doubt, you want to stay with good posture the whole time. But if you want to develop it, you need to have control over the expansions and contractions and come back to good posture. So let me quantify good posture for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I have an arc in my body going from 1 forward to 10 backwards, so if 1 is a total contraction, I'll just pull my top in here so you can see this. So from here, it's a total contraction where my sternum is touching my knee, so I come all the way forward here. So you can see I'm totally bent over. That's a 1. If I curl up through my body, you can see I'm at a 2 now. Keep curling up, 3, 4, and then hopefully this right here at good posture is right in the middle of 1 to 10 is a 5. So hopefully you can see my pelvis is tucked under, my shoulders are down, my back is nice and straight. So I don't want to have even a little bit of an arch in my back. I'm straight, straight, straight up at a 5. If I want to go into extension, so from contraction, which is in that realm of 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5, extension goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So from 5, a small back extension here is 6. So I'm contracting on the other side now, extending the front of my body. So you have to be very careful in smooth not to think 6 is a 5. It's very easy to think that you're standing up straight here because you're looking up, but your back is actually shortened right here. So a 5 is looking straight up forward, not up at the ceiling and arching the back. So from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I can use a back extension, especially if you're putting a lady into a back bend. The lady goes through 6, 7, 8, 9, and then obviously going as far as you can back, all the way back, hopefully to 10. That's when your head's all the way down, and that's when the man can assist the lady. So we obviously are dancing at a 5. We're going through our techniques, keeping ourselves lined up at a 5. But as we're dancing, we can use an expansion and contraction through the back to amplify a technique. Okay, because 5 can look a little stiff and a little rigid. Gentlemen, I tend to think that you stay at a 5 to look like the solid frame of the lady's picture. Ladies, you can play with this 3, 4, 5, 6 range as long as you're in control of your technique and can come back to 5. So what I mean by that, if you want to step into a step and put a small back bend in it, you need to make sure that you recover to 5 for your movement. So basically the rule is you want to move with controlled 5 posture. If you do a line, you want to be very careful. Normally you want to stay at a 5 and just have the hip angles change. But just say you want to do a contraction on the way back out, contraction, but then recover to 5. So you can see I move at a 5 and just put small contractions and extensions in to amplify the character of the dance. Now, make sure that if you're going to do an extension or a contraction, that it doesn't affect your balance. So if I did a small back bend action and then tried to move in that position, you can see that I'm falling, I'm out of control. So if I do a back bend action, come back to 5 so that you have control and balance and your weight is over your feet properly before you move off again. Okay, so that's just a quick review of posture, and then turning up the volume a little bit, playing without contractions and extensions. So next we're going to go over swing, rotation, and sway.